right now, one country is attacking another country. And we're a big world. We're very far away. We're here in Yerushalayim. We have different ways we could relate to what's happening. First of all, each person identifies with his homeland, his countrymen. People have different religious views, religious, paths of life which connect them to other people. So we could see ourselves as very distant from what's happening in many ways. We're not physically there. We're not in any physical threat. Here we are Jewish people learning Torah in Yerushalayim. And this applies to every country and every people around the world. Same mentalities. So on one hand, we're very far away. But on the other hand, life as we know it today makes this entire world really, it puts the entire world in the palm of your hand. We have phones that tell us everything. And so the world shrunk in some way that really we are aware of what's happening everywhere. So we're close, but we're far. So what I want to mention is this. The question I ask myself, and not only in this particular situation, but in many situations, what does what's happening out there really have to do with me? Number one, that's a very important thing we have to ask ourselves. And number two is, what can I do about it? What can I, Yitzchak, standing here in Jerusalem, running my big mouth, as I often do, what can I do to help anyone, anything? What can I really do to help the world around me, the people around me? Of course, help myself as well. So we find in prayer, interestingly enough, the prayer text that we have, our ancient Jewish prayer text, really shows us a beautiful insight and a perspective to life, in that many of the prayers we say as ambassadors. We say as part of a group. There is personal prayer where I am talking to Hashem for me, about me, because of me. And of course, I'm talking to Hashem because I want to connect with Hashem. But we see, for example, on Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, we mention prayers that are for the sake of the world, that are for the sake of all the people of the world, that are for the sake of our nation. So prayer and prayer literature teaches me that I have to have many perspectives and I have to relate to the world in different ways. So, and that's what I want to mention. We feel sometimes helpless, insignificant, we're limited. What can we do? What really can we do? So there's one thing that we can always do that is unfortunately underestimated, but if we knew the real power in it, we would never stop. And here I'll mention one of the great rabbis, the Chazon Ish, explains that if you see your fellow in trouble, let's take, for example, God forbid, someone drowning. If you see someone drowning, so you have to help him. He's going to lose his life, and that life is precious. You have to do everything you can to help him, right? Now, let's say you can't swim. So seemingly you're helpless. How can I help a person that's drowning? I can't swim myself. Okay, so beyond trying to throw something towards him that he can use to hold himself above the water, okay, those are all natural efforts. Beyond that, what can I do? Seemingly nothing, right? I have to sit there and wait for someone that's able to help him to come and help. So he says that you can pray. That prayer is a powerful weapon because prayer connects me right to Hashem, who is in charge of and aware of everything. And so if I can't physically help, I can pray, right? Another big question we have, we're here in the middle of a 2,000 some odd year exile, and we're tired. We're hurting. We're lost. Each generation is more confused than the one before it. What today we call insanity, what we called insanity 50 years ago, we would pray for such sanity today. Every generation is more insane than the next one. We're here, we're hurting, we're desperate. What do we need more than anything in our lives? We need Hashem, we need light, we need Mashiach, we need a better world, we need a better place, we need our situation to improve. So what can we physically do to improve all of this? Seemingly, we feel it's above and beyond us. How can I bring Mashiach? You ask yourself, what can I, simple me, do to bring Mashiach? It's too big for me. This world is hurting, in too much pain for me to fix all the pain in the world. I can't fix everything. Even if we get a group of us together, the battle is too great. So what can we do? So what we really can do is we can pray and ask Hashem for his help. That is a very powerful thing we can do. And we see that we've been praying for Mashiach a very long time. and it almost seems like it's pointless. But as we continue to pray, as the exile extends, the prayers are filled with more faith and more trust in Hashem, that even though we haven't seen a response in 2,000 years, we still believe in Hashem. Those are very powerful prayers. And if the Jewish people would unite, if the world would unite in praying for each other and for the world and for Hashem to come back and give us all of what He promises in the different prophets, the Beit HaMikdash, peace in the world, that would happen. Mashiach, of course. That's how we can help bring all of that. Okay, so bringing it to what's happening right now today, I think like this. I'm not an expert in politics, nor am I an expert in really who's exactly at fault, not at fault. That's not really the angle I'm coming from. What I do know is this: that the current media, social media that we have, makes us aware of many things that we would have never have been aware of otherwise. And when you hear a story about a father that's saying goodbye to his children, his young daughter, because he may never see her again, if that doesn't touch you and affect you and hurt you, then you're not a person, you're a rock. So when you hear and see what's happening, bloodshed, hurt. Now, there are bad guys and there are good guys, and I'm not trying to figure who they are. But you know what? The fact that children are going to be missing parents are going to be missing children, this is not good. And if we don't feel that as part of this world, then it's a level of selfishness. It's just because I'm far away from the trouble and it's not my people per se. That's not a reason to exempt me from being aware and being concerned with what's happening to people. Pain is pain. Suffering is suffering. Hashem is big enough to care for everyone and to take care of this entire world. And when we relate to Him, we see in our own prayers that we have, like on Rosh Hashanah, that's what we could do. We can pray to Hashem to have Rahmanas, mercy, compassion on us, on the world, and to bring us closer to that Mashiach, bring us closer to the Geula, bring peace in the world. And it doesn't have to come through the harsh wars that are one possibility. We can do tshuva ourselves. We can be better. We can make more love and kindness in the world. And we can merit to see this salvation and the redemption without having to go through the hard suffering that is one of the ways that we are supposed to get there. A much easier and better way is if we become better people, then we'll have the redemption in a much sweeter, much more beautiful way. No bad prophecy ever has to actually take place. That's a rule in... We cannot test God, we cannot test a prophet if he's real or not, if a bad prophecy doesn't come true, because a bad prophecy can be canceled if we do tshuva, if we no longer deserve that punishment. And so we have to think positive, and we have to say, what can I do now to bring us closer? We're waiting for Mashiach. We want Yerushalayim built. We want our enemies to stop bothering us. Well, you know what? Everyone wants that. And if we are mitzaref, if we feel a bit for the other humans out there that are suffering, that's, I think, very powerful. Hashem is looking at us, human beings that are built to be selfish. If we can go beyond ourselves and be concerned for others and do what we can to help others, then Hashem will help us as well. And that's how I think we can bring help this world, help what's happening, help the people that are suffering, is by caring and praying for them if we can't physically do anything else.